Aha! I knew I'd open this game and be presented with sliders. Just like they said. Again, I like to keep it a little bit brighter. Please adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Yeah. Wholesome. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. I mean, that's... Wait, hold on. Well, there it is, but... You know what? I'm gonna be contrarian. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Okay. Which of the two made-up words below is the most appealing to you? Okuboinkle or scrumtush? Oh, the scrunkly. Please don't adjust the slider. I mean, you realize you've made a very tempting decision. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? I sure would hope so. What time? What is time anyway? Time doesn't exist. Time's fake. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Nope. You know everything about me. Help? Sure. Will you come back to visit me? That depends. Welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Oh, this game continues to be pleasant and fun. Mostly. So what are we getting ourselves into today, I wonder?
All of his
I actually think
gone. What could it mean?
there's actually something
Stanley
that I
decided to
remember
go to the
that I
meeting
haven't
room.
done yet.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But I think it's back here. Can I?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh. Hee hee, haha. Hee hee, haha.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part
Wow.
of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful
Hee
and witty
hee.
commentary into the nature of video game structure.
Wow, look at this witty and
its
funny
examination
commentary.
of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Yeah.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
My eyes are
Okay,
burning.
I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue.
Yes.
But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop?
Well, I mean, I
Do
know.
you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here
Yes.
just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time.
Mm-hmm.
What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration?
We're about to find
and
out.
This is Rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in
No,
this
not quite.
one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Cheers. And as far as I know, there is no way to get out of here other than restarting. Well, you heard him. Now we got to do the
All
other
his
option.
co-workers were- What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old
I
time
know.
you want. Like right now.
Never.
You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit.
Nope.
Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like
love
some
buttons.
kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And
I don't
if
think
you are
it's
not
that
strong
bad.
and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Well, you know what? I thought that was lovely. It's like one of Cap'n's songs in Animal Crossing. That's it. Oops, wrong button. Now, because I am curious...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Bucket.
A good bucket. A strong bucket.
Yes.
A humble bucket.
Yes.
A committed bucket. A
Love this
bucket
bucket.
of culture. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
No, they can't be. Is this going to be the same?
Yes. Whispered
Yes.
the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret,
Wow.
and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade
I
to
didn't know you were
uplift the
such a
stock
deep
of life for the
bucket.
common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
I can't handle this.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its
What
brow.
brow?
No, said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata
What?
first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his
Huh?
treasured vault. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why
How did
are
we
you
get
doing
here?
this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
Wha-
My God.
Oh my
Stanley,
god.
You did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had
What
all
the
12
fuck?
emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come,
you're welcome.
Let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast
I mean, I can't
away
I can't
inside
promise that. Wow. I killed a bucket today.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
Well,
meeting
you
room.
see,
Perhaps he had simply missed
I
the
have
memo.
to take the bucket.
The embrace of an old friend. A
Love you.
weathered companionship that
Love
stands
this
the
bucket.
test of time.
All right, Mr. Bucket, where are we going today? Where are we going? What have we not done with the bucket? Oh, I can think of something, actually.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We're also still missing 2 figurines. Some were both red and blue. A large room, lots of boxes. Oh, that's the crane room. Red and blue. The red and blue doors?
Stepping in.
No. Up and up and up we go. Where does it end? Nobody knows. There's one thing for sure, though. I definitely have a bucket. Okay, here it is. Do we still have the bucket? Yeah, I think I still have the bucket. We're leaving. Me and this bucket, we are leaving. We are escaping. Oh? Oh. I caress the bucket. I love you. You're gonna be okay out there. You deserve it more than me. Go. Live your life. Never forget that I love you. All right, I will accept that. That is a satisfying end for that
A
ending.
soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Wow. Wait a second. Is it actually gone? What? But I still had so many more endings to do. Will you be back if I reload? Oh. Can I pick it up? Hello?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages.
Oh.
If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Okay. Thank you. Question mark. There's the bucket. Replacement bucket. Yay.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
I'm sorry. I just wanted the ending. Okay, where are we going today, bucket?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
What do we got?
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
No.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No.
No.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back
So
to the
we did
meeting room.
that. Supposedly there
No.
is.
Said the bucket.
Hey.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift,
figurine
yes.
here?
Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Probably, definitely not down there. I just want to check this side first. So we went that way. There's still the ending where we unplug the phone, right?
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not
there might be
question
one in
why or
there.
how this bucket was speaking to
The
him.
figure.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
Okay.
Stanley, once again, obeyed blindly.
Can I go back on the lift? Oh, there it is! Oh, that is mean! Wait. Oh, can I? I'm gonna have to come back here. But at least I spotted it. Nope.
Now pick
Nope.
up the phone.
Nope.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone?
Well, why not?
Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking
That's
bucket.
very funny to me.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously.
Yeah,
Where
very
did I mess up
convincing.
the joke. Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish
yeah,
I were
that's
better
true.
at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's watch it.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
Oh, I'm sure.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good
Is
comedic
it?
timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing
I'm
only for bathroom
confused.
breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how
Hard
rapt they
data.
were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times.
Was
Just
the
to
joke
ensure
funny?
the
Was the
survey
joke
taker
funny?
is
Was
actually
the joke
paying
funny?
attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at
These
all.
faces are kind
Just
of
remember
creepy.
to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invaders who threaten our very existence, and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do
The
after
Mantis
us,
men
and
from
their
Portal
children
2, is
after
that
them.
you?
Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
I'm scared.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then.
Are
so
they?
with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the 2 doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Sure. Let's do it, buddy. Hold on, is the figurine still there? Well, no. I wouldn't be able to get to it. There's definitely a vent there. Is that just so I can get back up, or does that lead to a different ending, maybe?
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd.
ha,
What
how
a
funny.
hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
All right, hit me.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Nah.
What? We're back at the
How
front
did
already.
we get
No,
here?
what's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the
No,
phone
no,
room comes
I'm sorry,
immediately
it was my
after
fault.
the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the
No,
title
no,
of
you're
King of Comedy. I'm
great.
nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp.
No.
I
No.
think I need to go back. and
No, no, no,
rewatch
we've
that
seen enough of the
instructional
video.
again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to
Okay.
a set of 2 open
I
doors,
got it this time.
they entered the door on the left.
Okay.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone.
But-
Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all
I'm sorry.
your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Boss.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison.
Oh, God.
Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame.
You're so funny.
Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what will
right.
make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
All right. Mr. Narrator, whatever you say.
Perhaps he had
We're
simply
going to
missed
get
a
that
memo.
figurine. Maybe I should take the bucket, just to be safe. bucket.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker.
You are
In
right.
time, perhaps, he would become both of them.
In
Stanley
time.
touched the bucket tightly to his... And here it
Here
was.
we are.
Had the bucket turned out
And
to be correct?
here we
No,
are.
Never mind,
No,
said the bucket.
No.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Where
the
was it?
cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay. Carefully. Very carefully. Hello, Mr. Stan Lorraine.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then.
Yes.
Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
It will be such a momentous occasion. Okay. Now then. Oh. Whoa. Hello? This must be new, right? What? Narrator dialogue. Oh no. Are we about to meet the narrator? Is this like his place? Huh.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same.
That's how you know it's a good bucket.
feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for
Does
it.
there need to be?
I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can
Oh no.
monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
No.
This is my golden ticket.
Don't
But I
use
have
this
to be
power for
careful,
evil.
Because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get...
Uh.
What's that? Who's there?
Uh-oh.
Camporata.
No! Is this ending connected to the other ending? What is happening? Okay, we're going back there without the bucket, because now I want to see what's there.
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Boop. Okay, what do we got? It's gonna be the same scene? Yeah. Hello?
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path.
Oh,
That
God.
it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path. That
Wow.
It seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten
The
path.
audio design there
Seemed
was
the office had
really
begun.
good.
Was so
How
far
it
off the
just
beaten path.
seamlessly
That it seemed
transitioned
the office had
into...
begun. Was so far off the beaten path.
the directional
that it seemed
audio
the
here,
office had
and then you
become
immediately
just so far
realize
off the
what's
beaten
going on.
path that it seemed... You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's
Yeah,
the
it'd be
kind
pretty
of twist
silly.
you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
I'm sorry. Oh. I was never a fan of that trope. So I agree with
All
you,
of his
Mr.
co-workers
Narrator.
were gone. What could
What
it
are we
mean?
doing next?
Stanley
Let's
decided to go
see.
to the meeting room. Perhaps not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket.
This
but
is true.
Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
I'm a lucky man. Okay, we're missing one more. Somewhere both red and blue. Other than the escape ending, I don't think there's anything here. So what? Oh, we got one of the random events. Yeah, every time you boot up the game or
All
restart,
of his co-workers were gone. What could it
the
mean?
office can just kind of
Stanley
change
decided to go to the
sometimes.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And now there's a bunch of papers on the floor.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent.
You're right.
Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Oh, there's even like the the walking sound is even different on this floor, I think. I guess it must be the
No.
Said the
doors?
bucket.
The
Don't
two
go
doors?
to the meeting room.
But
Go
I can't get there
somewhere
with the
else.
bucket.
The
Damn it.
cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
There is one ending that I haven't done with the bucket.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before.
We haven't heard this dialogue
Was it
yet.
this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room?
Maybe.
I mean, truly, deeply, madly love. But I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Okay, is it gonna be in
Look,
here?
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
I don't
there
care.
it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake
Yeah.
of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward.
Yeah.
I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that.
Oh,
So,
hello,
instead
car
I'll just
outside.
say it's done. Well,
How
well
dare
done,
you
dear.
interrupt
And
me
now we
during
can
my
go to
momentous
whatever the hell you were
occasion.
doing before you hunted for figurines.
Well, I got him.
Now listen
That's
carefully,
good
this is
enough for me.
important. Stanley walked through the red door.
You know what? I don't care. Well, loading? It's taking a while to load. Oh, there was no fade in there. That was kind of weird. Narrator?
Stanley,
What?
I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
Yeah.
Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just
Okay.
one more time.
One last time, you say. Ah, good old times. Ah, what a lovely place. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Audience award. What does that say? Sure. Oh, you want me to go down here? That's right.
Here's where it all began. The
Yep.
first collectible. Back
The
then
first
we
one.
had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
We'll never experience this game for the first time ever again. Oh. That can't be right. We're disrupting the natural order of things. Oh, I see. You want me to go this way? Oh, this is lovely. And this
And here
one.
was a second Stanley. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you
Really?
continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Oh, thank you for not doing the cutscene every single time. I want to go up.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
Third one? I think it was this one. I think I found this one first, before that one.
Hey, that's exactly right. It
Yeah.
was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
This is true. Okay. Now for the other one.
Let's see, what came next?
Oh. Wait, this isn't
Oh
how
yes, we found a
this
Figley
went.
in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
I mean, strange room, but okay. We have never been here before, sir. Just figured you should know. Oh. And this is... yeah, that's right.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah? Oh, my God. I grew up in this era of YouTube. So many videos were like this, exactly. You're forgetting the unregistered Hypercam 2 watermark in the upper left. How dare you forget the details? Thank you, narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video,
Oh,
but it
I'm
was
sure.
8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Got it. What happens if I fall here? Oh, is it not gonna let me? Is there an invisible wall here? Yeah, I can't fall. Dang it. In through here. yes. The two doors.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them.
That's
They're
all of them.
all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Boop. Oh, I get to choose. Oh, but they lead to the same spot. You are in the present.
And then
Oh.
there was no more. Because we've caught
past.
up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
What? Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen.
Stop the
Is there
loading
some way we can
screen.
stay here, keep enjoying these figurines. Let's just go backwards. We'll
Let's
do the
keep
memory zone again from
reliving the
opposite
past.
Direction. See how that feels.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue
More.
doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
I want more. I want to keep reliving my experience with this video game.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, here it is again. Awesome video, man.
Yes, I love that video.
Ah, me too. Good times. Good times. Still, don't really remember this part.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stan.
Yeah.
Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Yeah, I will say it's a nice room. Oh, solid, well-made room. Nice apple. But here we are back in the bathroom.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation.
You're
Next one.
right. Oh, I would love to go the other way. Will you let me go the other way? Oh, is there nothing here? Oh. All right, back down we go.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember?
I do.
Yes, I remember it too.
Yeah.
The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
And now, back here.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going.
Me
What else is
too.
there? What came before this?
Oh? Yeah, that's right. The exhibit. I mean, now it's all, oh, that's right.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter
It
on
sure
everything.
does.
In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more memories.
Sure would be nice if you gave me a few extra jumps so that I could relive those memories of those few fleeting jumps.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Two
yes.
doors. Who could have forgotten that?
What a sweet
Classic
memory.
This one.
Oh, which one do I choose? It's impossible to pick just one. Ah, yes.
And before everything else, there was your office.
The beginning of time.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
Nope.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be.
Do you?
Yes. I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
And now we're back.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Okay, now because I never know what this game is, this still part of the figurines
No matter
ending,
how hard
or
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I can take the bucket. What else is there to do with the bucket? Are there any other endings I haven't done? I can't remember. I did the buttons, I did the window, I did...
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate, assertive yet compassionate.
Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control
No.
Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent
Nah.
death.
I doubt that.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every
I'm aware
opportunity
of
to
that.
turn around and get back on track.
Nah.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Bring it on.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death?
That's
This
true.
is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
But this bucket is my
Farewell,
friend.
Stanley.
Fool.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently
No,
to
not the
death.
bucket.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest.
Oh, I actually
It was
don't
a
have the
glorious
bucket anymore.
to behold.
The bucket. The bucket. Welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, but a cavernous void. Or frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? We shall see.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
You're right. I'm sorry. Oh, I bet I can get up to that door. Buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced a catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. Well, you see, it looks like there's a lot more buckets here, but some of these aren't actually buckets, as we've learned from the quiz game. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death for just attempting it. One day we will reach a point in technology where this is possible. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains. No one can control a bucket. The stress bucket. An analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. And down the faucet, coping strategies equals holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. I don't think I understand, frankly. Oh, wow. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. How wonderful these buckets are.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
You're right. You're simply right. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. Now, is there anything back here? I think I'm reaching the point of no return. No, that's walled off too. Okay. Is this the infinite hole? Oh.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Yes?
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
I don't know if I... Well?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
No.
Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I don't care what you have to say.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Whee! Ah, this again.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
No.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, narrator.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Is there anything over here? Probably not.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
So yeah, this museum area is actually meant to be a basically a history of development. Like this is these are some different versions of the office layout. Well, this is actually just the one office layout. I don't remember if they show any other variations. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout the development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in good time. The set of the 2 open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension from it. An exploration of the contradiction this room posed. I cannot read today. The office. I don't think I'm going to read all of this. Okay, yeah, so it has been updated. So this is the 2013 team. And I suppose most of this is the new team that did this remake. Button sounds. Very good noises. So let's see if there's anything new here. I wonder if there's any new, like, concept art. Early version of the maintenance room. The copy machine. Yeah, I remember these. These are from, various trailers. Yeah, the Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018 at the Game Awards, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement and the game's delay. Yeah, I have been waiting for this remake since it was announced, basically. Man, it really was 2018. It's been 4 years. What the fuck? Warzone. Early in development of the original game, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that this was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Yeah, I was really wondering if they would bring back the cut endings, like this one specifically. But I suppose not. There's a reason it was left out. The lounge. Far less magnificent than the final lounge. Oh, I remember these. Narrator emails. After the second trailer of the original game, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. How do you type with that? Very good. Very good. Some of those emails kept mentioning, oh, this is the second game, right? So I believe originally, in the very beginning, when, like, the original incarnation of the Stanley Parable was a Half-Life 2 mod or something like that, I think. But then it went on to have its own, like, release as its own thing in the Source engine. I think. And that at the time was an expanded version of that mod. And now we have an expanded version of that. Oh yeah, this is the timer that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, originally that ending was going to have like a limited amount of time. Zending. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the 4th version of the ending, and we thought it was complete but decided to abandon and change it shortly before launch. Zending. what ending is this supposed to be? I'm not sure I follow. Screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Okay, I understand now. Again, these look like portal textures. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room would go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. Game design mockup. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mockup is still in the game. Yeah, I think I recognize that. Oh. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. Ah. And what's the difference? Oh, there's just some boxes in this version. A few more things on the desk. A painting on the wall. This one has everything against the wall. Wait, what? Doorway to maintenance in the lounge. Two options. Two doorways to maintenance. One option. One doorway to maintenance in the lounge and the original back on track option. And this is the one I think is in the final game. And what about this? Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Wow, this was probably like the first very early version. This was a slightly more like developed version, and this is close to final or perhaps the final version. Office clock. Yep, sure is a clock. And
Then he pushed them great.
narration outtakes. Kevin Briding, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game at roughly 3 separate times over 2 years of development, and that's just for the first game. These are clips from early takes that were not
Now
used in
look
the final
closer,
game.
Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room? Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course,
Game
you
design.
being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you.
Stanley pushed the orange lever.
Nothing there? Shoot. Well, try the other one then. Stanley pushed.
I could listen to this guy's voice all day, honestly.
Still nothing? I don't know. Well, in that case, I'll tell you what. You win. Congratulations. You did it.
I did it.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
That is a much more, like, angry take on that line.
What do we do now? I don't... Stanley, where are you right now?
I'm right here.
Where am I?
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out, but I can't... Stanley, who am I? Can you speak to me? Please talk.
Taco
Have we
Taco.
done this before? Have we been in this room before? How many times have
Maybe.
we done this? How many times have I said these exact
don't
words? Say
remember.
something. Anything. Help me, Stanley. I don't know who, what I... Stan, help. Don't.
Oh, God. I think we've seen mostly everything. Unless if I missed a room or something. we saw this. This is the exit here.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
And that's the end.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Now, I just want to... I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, is the thing. I could have sworn there were more... Wait. I saw that. Oh, it's because I'm getting close to the bucket, that's why. I was wondering why my cursor was appearing. Boop.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Huh. Well. Now that I guess... It's kind of tough to end this game, I think, because there's no, like, definitive ending to it. That's why I kind of saved that museum for last, because I felt that that was, like, the best quote-unquote ending to this game. I suppose I'll keep looking for any more things. Happy 12th birthday, Stepnies. But, I don't know. I guess if I find more things that I was unaware of, or like if there was an ending that I missed, I'll make like a bonus episode or something. But thank you very much for joining me for the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I've been waiting for this game for 4 years now, and I think it paid off. I really like the extra stuff that they added. I thought it was very funny and well written and interesting. But for now, I am signing off. Bye-bye.